All right, we're finna open these phone lines. Listen, it's 124 people watching. We should have 124 likes. If you
get them likes up, share the video. You understand? Same thing for anybody watching on Cross the Line. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Salaki.
Nah, you good. Come. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, if they're watching on Cross the Line, they probably can't see my borders and banners with the phone number going across the top of the screen. So if you could type it in for them, I'm also finna put it scrolling across the bottom of my screen.
All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna share my screen on OBS so that this way they'll be able to see you too.
Oh, okay.
And then you know what? It's gonna be a little small though.
Sorry. Well, if they can hear me, 866-718-0557. 866-718-0557. Again, call in. Bring your questions, man. Bring your evidence, bring your research, but keep it respectful. I'm finna open up the phone lines. Give me 1 second, see if we got anybody holding.
Listen, you can talk greasy if you want. I don't know if you know we live for that.
Yeah, I know. All right, we got a caller. Caller, inside the nation. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Zuriel. I'm calling from New Mexico.
Go ahead. What's your question? What's your comment?
My question, am I on live right now?
You live. What's happening, brother? Shalom.
Oh, sure. Oh, hey, shalom. Hey, my question, I don't know if I was on live or not. My question actually has to do with, I believe, first off, let's get it straight. I believe in the 12 charts, in the sign. I believe in the chart. It's actually in the Bible that it says that they'll join the two sticks together and make it one stick in the end times. My question has to do with, have you found, okay, specifically like the South Pacific Islanders, like Hawaiians, I've been looking at some historical stuff, and they actually, the original Hawaiians look black. Same with, what do you call them, the Samoans. And I was looking at just some of the conditions, and it seems like they fit some of the conditions that are stated in Deuteronomy. So I wanted to know what your take is on that. Also, speaking of those people, also in the islands, those islands were continuously used as testing by the U.S. military for nuclear testing. And those people that live on islands like that hardly anybody knows about, those islands have been decimated. They live in abject poverty. So that was my question. The other question I wanted to ask you about was about the Seminole Indians. And I was wondering if you heard or did any research as far as whether the Aborigines from Australia actually fit those, that they could possibly be Israelites as well. I did see a bunch of stuff with them as far as them being in slavery, and some New Zealanders, what they call blackbirding, being sent to Australia as slaves as well. So that's pretty much it, man. I don't have to stay online now. You can go on and answer the question.
No, you can stay on the line, just, you know what I'm saying, just in case, because I might ask you a question or two in return. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's how okay. I teach. That's how Yahweh taught too. He would ask you a question in return. You'd answer your own question and get yourself edified. You understand? But okay, in total, no. The people that you just named, as far as Pacific Islanders, like those from Easter Island, Hawaiians, as well as what you said, the Aborigines of Australia, those are Japhetic people. They do not descend from our people, nor do they fit the curses. And here's another thing. You can't just go look for any single oppressed people, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something, they still know their culture. They still have their culture. They weren't completely destroyed or wiped out. Same thing with the Hawaiians. The Hawaiians still, you understand, got names over there like Hannah Pepe and all that. You understand? What's your last name, if you don't mind?
Oh, my last name?
If you don't want to share it, that's fine. But I guarantee you, you understand, it comes from a Caucasian. I guarantee you it comes from an oppressor. Absolutely. You understand? Whereas the Hawaiians don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like they still have remnants of their culture intact. Like, listen, we have to understand something. You understand? And I give a damn who I offend with this. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is our oppressor, and he will oppress absolutely anybody. He oppresses his own people. Let's not act like they didn't have a civil war in America. You get what I'm saying? Let's not say like they're not constantly at war with each other. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, you like he will oppress absolutely anybody. But if you want to go and weigh the destruction, once again, you have to say, did they discontinue from their heritage or not? You understand? The Hawaiians didn't completely discontinue from their heritage. They just had their property annexed. They were just partially colonized.
Okay. Yeah, question. How did they, if you know, do you know how? Uh-oh.
You good?
Oh, okay. No, I was looking at the picture and I saw him still talking. I guess it's a lag. How did they, what's the word I'm looking for? Travel from one place to another, because I don't think those islands were originally inhabited by anyone, because they were in the northern hemisphere. So what's the word I'm looking for? Not immigrate.
Migrate.
Migrate. Thank you, man. How was that? Was that a migration? Because you said they were
Japhetic, yes, I understand. That's another thing too. You said something earlier about how they were dark skinned or whatever. Once again, all dark skinned people aren't. East Indians are dark. Ain't nobody try to claim those snake eaters. None of them. Nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What I was talking about in respect, like
you're talking about the migration. I'm gonna get into that.
Those guys like have full blown afros. You know what I mean? Like, and they actually look. They have some features that kind of favor Judah, Benjamin.
Okay, Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian. We're not Hamites.
Correct.
So once again, you get what I'm saying? Are you gonna have certain people who can look alike? I mean, at the end of the day, we all come from Adam and Eve, but the Lord separated nations. He created different nations. He created different races, and he only chose one. So once again, you have to start getting away from the carnality aspect. But as far as the whole migrational pattern, Europe was originally inhabited by Japhetic people. You understand? The lands of Gog and Magog, what you know as Russia today, the lands of, you understand, Gomer and you know, what you would consider Macedonia or Greece today, all of those were Japhetic lands, and yes, they were a dark-skinned people. But the so-called white man, being the oppressor that he is, the same way he calls himself a Jew today and lives in our land, is the same way he's trying to say he's a South African, the same way he says he's an Egyptian. You know, it bugs me out that the only time that he doesn't portray himself as everybody is slavery. 12 years a slave, niggas is slaves, and he's the master. You understand? But when it comes back to Egypt, because it's glorious, he's Horus, he's Seth, he's Pharaoh, he's Moses, he's God.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
True that.
So the whole point is that when these animals started to migrate, you understand, into Europe, they did the same thing. They would come in acting peaceful, then they would submerge the people, they would go to war with them, they would take over and then start calling themselves by that nation's land, and they pushed them out. And those people eventually were pushed out of Europe, out of Russia, out of those lands, and they went into the Polynesian Islands. That's where they migrated from. That's why even if you go back, go look at the king's list of Macedonia. It's going to go from Alexander to Philip to some Hawaiian sounding name like Hanapepe or something. How do you go from, you understand, Hananakna to Philip? It's because there was a regime change there.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate the time, man.
God, we appreciate you calling.
No sweat.
Hey, Araya, hey, call in. Does he agree with Ron Dalton's genetic findings? Call in and ask your question. All right. A good response. Let me close this line out. See if we got any more calls holding. Hey, listen, if you putting questions in the comment section, it's moving. It's moving. You know, it's like 100 and about 40 people watching, so the comment section is moving sometimes where I can't read them all. So you got to call. You got to call. All right, we got to call the caller in. Hold on. Caller, thanks for calling Inside the Nation. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Israel.
Name Israel. All right.
Popular name.
Hello?
What's happening?
All right, what's going on?
Hey, Shalom. You got a question or a comment? What's going on?
Yeah, I got a question. What's the guy's name with I.S.U.P.K?
Captain
Captain
CHAATAZA.
CHAATAZA.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got a question for him. I want to ask if you could read 2nd Ezra 13, 40 through 45 without adding ships in there.
Yeah, that's fine. Hold on one second.
We said 13 through 44.
2nd Ezra 13.
40 through 45.
I'm very familiar with this. All right, you want me to read it or you want to read it?
No, I want you to read it.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Osei the king, whom Shalmaneser the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Before I read any further, how did they get carried over water?
They walked through the narrow path.
Where does it say that?
No, what I want to do.
I know what you wanted me to do.
I will tell you about adding and taking away from the scripture, so I want to know why I always read that.
Slow down real quick, right? Because wait, hold on, brother. It's not gonna go nowhere if we talk over each other, right? So what you're gonna have to do is show just a little bit of decorum. You get what I'm saying? And with that being said, you just said that we're not supposed to what? Add or take away. Now, nothing that we just read in this verse talked about entering the narrow passage of the water in this verse. You get what I'm saying? We're talking about when Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led them away captive, he carried them over the waters and then came them into another land. So how did they get carried over the waters?
They just told you.
No, you added. You understand?
My question to you is, I wanted to know, because I use that to say that that's how the northern tribes came over here, but that don't say that. They just
now, once again, we're not. Hold on.
Boats in there. It don't say nothing about no boats.
Listen, we are not.
Around the whole continent of Africa for a year and a half.
I'll let you finish.
Fairy tale. Y'all need to quit promoting that.
All right. So now, here's the point. We didn't even read to that point. We didn't get to when they left Assyria. We're talking about how they were brought into Assyria. And you added to the word. It doesn't say they waded through the water. It said, how does something, slow down. How does something get carried? You know, brother, I don't think that you're emotionally stable enough to handle the dialogue. Like, I don't think that you're disciplined enough to be able to even have this conversation. Now, I know that you called up with a preconceived notion because you think you know something, but answer the question honestly. How does something get carried over water?
He off the line, Cap. He hung up. But what I just got from that was, he said you added boats in, but then we asked him how they did. He said narrow path. I didn't see that. You
didn't see that at all. And it didn't say that they walked, that they moved, that they waded. When something is carried over water, meaning it's on the water, it's a ship. It's a boat. You understand?
Right.
So he didn't want to say that. That's why he knew he was jammed up and he tried to evade it. Because ships don't have to be mentioned. If you're traveling by water, guess what you're using? A boat, dum-dum.
Again. If you're calling in with the research, then do so. But if you're gonna call in and make a claim, you cannot be doing the same thing that you accusing somebody else of doing. Because, brother, honestly, when you called in just now, hold on one second. When you called in just now, you said that boats were added in, but then you added your own part with the narrow passage, unless it's in there somewhere that I don't see it, but that's not in there either. So if you call in, let's call in and listen. Don't get upset. Just talk. Let's have the conversation. Let's get edified.
We can go back and forth. I don't know if y'all were paying attention. The last brother who was on, we went back and forth fine. It's not an issue to dialogue, but once again, like the brother said, be respectful, and like I said, show some decorum. That's what we're here for.
God. Carla, thanks for calling Inside the Nation. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, yo, this Pacro, a.k.a. Perez, y'all from the Rumble Room.
Pac, what's up, man? Hey, you got a question to comment for the cap?
What's cracking? Yeah, Captain.
Yeah, I know Hebrew's intimidating. Go ahead.
I'm good. What's going on? Peace to you both. Peace to all the Israelites watching.
Hey, hold on, brother. One second. I don't mean to interrupt you. Hey, do me a favor. Can you read me the call-in number so I could put it in my chat?
866 718 0557.
0557. To the 227 people that's watching, listen, I need y'all to hit that like button as well. You understand? Let's get in. All right, brother Slocky, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, you good? All right. So, I had a question concerning the 12 tribes chart. Earlier, you spoke about people considering the evidence that supports the 12 tribes chart. Now, first of all, I just want to pay respect to the brothers who are pushing, because I think it's a mistake to sort of, well, I think it should be noted the effort that the 12 tribes chart plays in awakening our people. I first saw the 12 tribes chart back in '96 at the African marketplace. I want to say it was like maybe Dorsey High in LA. And so it planted a seed. But I think there's a time where we have to sort of reevaluate things and figure out if we're telling the truth, because I believe the truth matters. Now, a lot of people, they come at me for they criticize me for putting the 12 tribes chart under scrutiny, but I think that when it comes down to it, truth matters. And so when we speak, we should speak the truth. And if something's not true, we should either find out the truth and reform it, or stop saying it altogether.
Oh, okay. So what's your precise point, though?
So the question is, what evidence? Please direct the audience to the literature that supports the notion of dispersed Israelites across the earth being neatly fitted into modern day colonial territory borders.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah. In order for you to, first of all, I mean, when did you tune in with us?
I'm sorry, today?
No. I mean, how long have you been watching this dialogue? Because
he came in after you said what you said. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I saw when he came in.
So no, I'm saying, were you there when I answered the question as far as how the tribes were able to stay together during slavery, and I explained that slavery was an industry?
Yes, and I found it highly problematic.
Okay, well that's neither here nor there. I would suggest for you to do the research. But as far as the question that you asked,
I'm calling for you to. I'm
trying to. You just. I was about to. You just interrupted me while I was in the middle of breaking it down for you. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Shoot, baby boy.
I appreciate you. That's a little weird for you to call me that, but all right, no sweat. So back to the point. You'd have to understand anthropology, which is the study of the movement of people. And you'd have to understand who was in what area and when they were conquered. And all you'd have to do is just look at the historical timeline.
Help me understand.
I can't help you understand if you're not going to listen. It doesn't sound like you. I'm literally breaking it down. You understand? And I'm giving you the methodology for understanding it. So in order, like, I'm trying to give you ABC 1, 2, 3 building blocks of how you can reach the conclusion, but it doesn't seem as though you're able to build upon a foundation. It's like you want me to say the answer's blue, and the waters are just a little bit more muddier than that. It's a in-depth area and answer because I'm talking about 2,000 years of history. And even if I want to cut that in half or even into a quarter and just go with, you understand, colonial history down with America, once again, it's 200 to 300, 400, 500 years. So I can't give you a 500-year answer in one sentence.
Are you not ready?
Pac, he trying to break it down. Give him a chance to break it down for you. You keep coming in.
Yeah, I think you're another cat who had a little bit of glass of that emotional juice. But I'll continue on. So now you'd have to understand.
Let me explain myself.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I see you don't. I see you can't help yourself. So go ahead.
Maybe I can get Captain a little breather. All right. So, the issue is when somebody makes a claim, they have to back it up, right? Like, I know personally, like I came into this truth probably like around like the end of 2011. I've been asking this question since 2013. And every I.S.U.P.K dude, every that's I.S.U.P.K or that's GMS, peace to those brothers, peace to you guys. I support you guys in your frontline ministry. Okay, you guys have made the like probably the largest, most significant impact in this whole conversation. But what I'm asking is, like, like if we make a claim, the 12 tribes chart makes a claim. Now, if we aren't ready to defend that claim, we should stop making it. So far, what you've told me is what I don't understand. What you got to understand, what you don't understand. Put the literature out for the people.
All right, you want the literature? This is what I need you to do. No, okay. So it's obvious that you haven't done enough studying and you're not enough versed, and because you went to so many multiple, brother. Every time I start talking, you start interrupting me. You got to shut your mouth.
Insulting.
So now, back to the point. So you haven't done enough research on the topic. So this is what I'm going to advise you to do, right? Go to crossthelines.radio.com, right? And I talked to the brother about maybe doing a part 2, because for brothers like you who are lost, I suggest you get a foundation. You understand, in exactly what we teach. And in order for you to get the foundation, you got to be quiet. You don't want an answer. That's the problem. In order for you to get the foundation, you have to hear the breakdown. And the breakdown is 3.5 hours long. So what you should do is go to crossthelines.radio.com.
Like you're not ready.
Click join the Cross the Line click, and then go on the Patreon, subscribe, and then watch the breakdown, because you really don't want to hear the answer anyway.
You sound like a modern day pastor. You sound like a Christian pastor.
Because you asked me for the book listing, and I'm giving you 3.5 hours worth of archaeology and sources and 35 books that I've read.
All right. All right, Pac, if you're still listening, you're asking questions, and every time the brother try and answer the question, you cutting them off. Now, he's trying. What he said made a lot of sense. It's not that simple. There is no 1 or 2 word answer to a lot of what we're learning. There was no 1 or 2 word answer to us learning who we were. You gotta go with the breakdown. If you're not gonna allow him to break it down, then you can't ask the question.
Because
I'm gonna take you off hold and let you continue the dialogue. But well, you hung up. Never mind.
Yeah. Now, just for you understand, inquiring minds, right? What he doesn't understand is he doesn't know. You understand who was in the Caribbean. He doesn't know who was in South America at what times. He doesn't know who came through and conquered them at what times, when these different countries and the nations were established, for him to even comprehend that. So that's why I'm saying, go watch the 12 tribe breakdown then. Watch the entire breakdown so you can understand it. I don't have 3 hours to just teach you. You know what I'm saying? It seems like what you need is more than what this dialogue can contain. So first, go and watch the breakdown before you say you don't believe it. And if you have a problem with something in the breakdown, take notes, refute it, and then come back. We can do this on Cross the Line. I can come back on this brother's channel. It's not an issue. But every time I try to answer, you keep interrupting. I don't, like I said, you don't have the discipline for the conversation either.
And that was one of the requests to everybody watching. If you're gonna call in, at least have done some research, watch the brother's video, and if you disagree with it, like he just said, come with the part that you disagree. So that way we can find out, okay, where the divide, where it is. But you just can't call in and say, hey, answer this question, and then just start, Pat, that's my boy. I got a lot of respect for him, but Pat, you gotta kind of fall back a little bit and let him answer. You wouldn't let him build. You wouldn't let him answer. All right, we got another caller holding. Caller, thanks for calling Inside Nation. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
This is PARRILLA out of North Carolina.
Okay.
Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Ak, what's happening?
Shalom, CHAATAZA.
What's going on? You got a question or a comment?
I got one simple question, man. I put in the chat about Brother Ronald Dalton's research. I just wondering, had you watched the Hebrews to Negro series, and what's your take on that? Do you agree with a lot of his research? And, just trying to get you guys' views on it, because I do a lot of research on his end. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of his stuff, and Brother Benaya Israel as well. So just wanted to get some feedback from you guys on that.
Okay, I've actually had several conversations with Ronald Dalton. Captain Zaryak and myself were actually invited to one of his screenings that we attended in the Bronx at one of those congregations. Okay. Based off the conversations that I've had with him, he's got certain pieces, but I think he's misguided and misdirected in certain areas. And one of the other major flaws that I have with him, because in the conversation that I had with him, he believes that Israelites are in America and are amongst the North American Indians as well, but he tries to tie things with DNA. And I don't believe that we can trust DNA because of the research that I've done and its inaccuracies and how they give you the test results back. It's basically an algorithm. So if you go to 3 to 4 different companies, you're going to get 3 to 4 different answers because the DNA markers are based off of an algorithm. And if they're not even going to admit, like a hypothetical situation, right? If they're not even admitting that Negroes are the real Jews, right? When you go to get your DNA, are they even basing it off of? Because they're not basing it off of your ancestors. They're basing it off of a completely different group of people. So for us to try to use DNA and stuff like that, it's pretty much asinine. So, not to knock the brother, you understand? I just think that he's got to go back to the drawing board on certain things. But I've had some good conversations with him, and I appreciated his hospitality when we came to his event.
Right. So do you think there's a difference in, I noticed he deals with haplogroups instead of like the DNA on like Maury's show, trying to see if the child is yours, if you know what I mean. So are you familiar with the differences in those types of DNA findings?
Now the reason as to why I haven't diverged into it, you understand, is because it's fugazi, it's trash. You understand that there's no real value to it because, like I said, they're controlling the test groups. You understand? So can we really trust them to give us the real answer? Like I said, we know, you understand? So like I said, even if I, for argument's sake, remove North American Indians and Hispanics from the table right now, and we just stick with, you understand, who people classify as so-called Negroes or African Americans, the majority of the people in this chat will say that they're Jews. Who tells you that?
Right.
Nobody. And you didn't need DNA for that. So why the hell do we need DNA for anything else when the scriptures is literally what we need? So.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But yeah, I just want to give you props to on your patience, man, in dealing with people. So just keep doing what you're doing out, and we appreciate you out here.
Oh, Most High in Christ, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
Shalom.
All right, shalom, bro. Appreciate you calling.
Appreciate you, Ak, for sure.